What's going on? Welcome to Totally Blitz podcast. We're going to talk UFC Austin, Dariush versus Tsarukyan recap. What went down on that main card? It was a great card overall. But as always, go down, drop a like, and comment down below what you thought on the card. Some of the amazing knockouts and slams we saw, even some submissions. But as always, I'm Paul Pickle Window Concha, and I'm joined with.
You already know, man. It's your boy Kev, Water Boy, your boy, aka the Don PY, aka Street Fight Enthusiast, and Paul. I was getting ready for the ball this card, right? So I'm getting ready, chilling, vibing, trying to catch what I catch. Every single second I caught was straight violence. Austin was insane.
Back-to-back years where the Austin card did not disappoint. We didn't get straight finishes. There were like two decisions, I think. There wasn't many decisions on this card, but it was fucking mayhem.
There's something about the heat out there in Austin that motherfuckers just turned all the way up.
And the crowd was pretty good. I don't think it was as good as the last time they were in Austin, but it was. It's kind of hard to one up the last crowd. The last crowd was lit, but it was still a very good crowd. The card was phenomenal, and like a lot of 50-50 fights on the main card that like they weren't 50-50 fights when that bitch started.
Facts.
What did you? Where did you want to start on this card?
I mean, I didn't get to catch most of this card live. I got a lot of the highlights and replays, but I did get to see the back-to-back slams, and I thought that shit was crazy. If you didn't see the card, you'll know that there were back-to-back KO slams, slam KOs, and I was watching this shit like, yo, bro, what the fuck? Because the second one was crazy. Second one, he looked like he was about to get his nice little arm triangle, and I'm thinking like, oh dang. He's trying to at least sit him up real quick. So to get him up real quick to get him to let go of the arm triangle. Man, Paul, he dropped this motherfucker on his noggin. Immediately went up.
Yeah, that one was, I think, Drakkar Close was the first one.
Yeah, that shit was insane. I remember just running around trying to get out dressed and shit. And seeing that, and I was like, oh, they came to fight the Austin today.
Yeah, and Drakkar Close, yeah, he was the first slam. And honestly, he's another one of these lightweights that is kind of going underneath the radar. He is 5. He's 8-2 in his 10 UFC fights. And he's not really being talked about a lot. He has some good. He's beaten Bobby Green, Mark DeCasey, Rafa Garcia, some solid names building up the resume. The only thing is like he'll have a 3-fight win streak and then lose to Beneil Dariush in a second round KO. And yeah, but it happens like on your way up the mountain. Like you go. Dariush was prior to his last 2 fights the boogeyman of 135. People were saying, or 155, and people were saying no one wants to fight the salt and pepper old man, and it was kind of true at the time. Now not so much, but 10-2, and you just got a KO. 8-2, and you just got a KO by a fucking slam. I know Dana White was like, definitely was like, yeah, we're gonna market him a little bit more for his next fight.
Yeah, that's facts.
And then our other body slam, and it was back to back, which made it crazy. It was Cody Brundrich, middleweight. He gets the first round body slam TKO, and he's somebody who actually needed a win in the UFC because he's like, what is he now? He's 4-4 in the UFC, but he has wins over lesser opposition and losses to some lesser opposition. So like he honestly was fighting for his fucking contract out there, and you could see it with that body slam.
He definitely dropped dog on his noggin, and I'm glad he got the fucking win. Now he can see. Now let's hope that he can build some momentum off of that bitch. But that's how they ended the prelims.
No, the prelims came lit, and then even a prelim warrior, Miesha Tate, she got a dub. She got a submission win. I was happy for a dog.
Yeah.
And she beat the fuck out of homegirl. It was 127 strikes to 11.
Yikes.
11-minute control time in what was only like a 13-minute fight, 12-minute fight. So it was a good showing for her. But on to the main card, the main eventers, as we like to call them. 50, like I said, it was a 50-50 fight on paper. I'm not sure if you went with Kelvin Gastelum. You may have stuck with Kelvin Gastelum went on the picks, but I know I took Sean Brady. He cashed in a lot of my bets for me on a pick and money line. I thought it was going to go to decision. I thought he was just going to wrestle fuck the shit out of Kelvin Gastelum for 3 rounds, and he definitely did. He has 9 minute control time, kept taking him down, 5 of 5 on his takedown attempts. And it was like Kelvin could get back up, and then you would know, like, okay, they're going to throw a couple punches, and then Sean Brady's going to shoot another takedown and probably work. And that's exactly what happened. But I wasn't expecting Sean Brady to get the Kimura in the 3rd round. But he had that arm, and he started moving it, and then see the tap come. Good win for Sean Brady. A lot of people are thinking it's like Kelvin Gastelum may be broken. I don't think so. I think it's like he's just never going to be a world title winner. Maybe people got the hopes after the Izzy fight, but we haven't seen that since. He looked good in his last couple fights, and he just went up against somebody who wrestle fucks 90% of the division that isn't Khalil Muhammad.
Yeah, dead ass. And it is what it is. That's not even a bad loss for.
Yeah, like I don't. And it's his first fight at welterweight. I know he was technically the bigger man, but like Sean Brady has like the pedigree and experience of wrestling. Like that's what he does. That's his bread and butter. Then another 50-50 fight. Figgy taking on Font. We both took Rob Font here. We thought him being the natural bantamweighter, the experience, good boxing, looked great in his last fight. And Figgy was getting old, but he was wrong.
But we did not think Figgy's power was going to translate, and we looked quite wrong.
Yeah, overall good. I mean, he had him on skates a little bit, had him hurt. It is also Rob Font. We've seen his chin get tested before and crack under the pressure. So like, it was good to see Figgy's power does transfer, but now I want to see does that power transfer to somebody who hasn't been cracked before? Like, does that like? Cause we know Rob Font chin isn't the best, but I was also kind of shocked on how the takedowns. Like Figgy got 4 of 7 takedowns, and it just looked natural out there, like him able to mix it up. I feel like we've been so used to Figueroa as dominating competition and stuff like that, where we forget that like he does have a lot of submission wins.
Facts.
He looked good on the ground.
And then that reminds you, like, bro, his name is really the God of War for a reason. Now, don't forget.
Yeah, and I'm not saying bantamweight is thin. It's definitely a stacked division, but you're coming from a previous champion, and now you beat Rob Font. You might be like, depending on if some of these guys don't want to fight each other, this and that, like he might sneak his way into a low key title shot. Still think Corey Sandhagen deserves before him, but still, like he got the name power.
Yeah, and availability is the best ability.
And your boy Alex Vieira, he was there in the afterwards to hype up a fellow Brazilian. Then we have the co-main event, which was honestly what stole the show, not for the knockout itself, but for the bad reffing. Jalen Turner getting the KO win over Bobby Green. And I know you said, Kev, that you watched some of the fight on live, but then you're peeping the highlights. But then before we started the show, Kev, you actually pulled up the full knockout clip to watch the Bobby Green KO and the stoppage that came afterwards. What did you think in fresh eyes on that video? What did you think of the Bobby Green stoppage?
Oh man, I think that shit was crazy. Cause I originally saw the clip and I'm thinking when he first got hit in the air, like when they're standing up, he's damn near knocked out. Maybe 1 or 2, and I kind of just like left it at that. I didn't think. No, I did not know this man repeatedly was beating on him for the next like 30 to 40 seconds, knocking Bobby Green out of consciousness, back in, knocking him back out again. Shit was crazy. That ref is definitely should have ran to the car or something.
Yeah, and prior to the fight, did you see the Arman Tsarukyan and Bobby Green beef in the hotel? Did you see the beef in the hotel, Kev?
Oh yeah, well, oh,
With
I seen
Tsarukyan
part.
and Bobby Green?
I seen it, but I didn't understand what they have beef for.
It's MMA, bro. We never know what how this shit starts. We just be catching the footages in the lobbies of hotel rooms.
Yeah, they said Bobby Green definitely had to get guys to get back a little piece.
Yeah, so I someone I know said on Twitter that the ref must be a Tsarukyan fan, the way he just let Jalen Turner just keep piecing off on him like that. But I mean, I agree with you, Kev. It was bad. I mean, a lot of people on Twitter, let us know down in the comment section. Do y'all think it was the worst stoppage of 2023? And do y'all say as far is this the worst stoppage you've ever seen in the UFC?
It was definitely one of the slower ones for sure. They definitely could have called that way earlier. I don't know if the depth of the ref just got yelled at for maybe stopping shit too early. He was trying to be petty and prove a point. But I definitely would have stopped that bitch earlier, me personally.
And I mean, Jalen Turner filled in for the last minute. Didn't know if he was going to make weight, but I think it shows that he's a for real lightweight. He made weight on short notice. He's already big for the division, so people didn't think he would. But he made weight and he looked great in there against Bobby Green, who was in his own type of resurgence of his own career because he was on a nice win streak, was in the top 15, and Jalen Turner made it easy night's work on short notice.
Yeah.
And then another quick fight, Kev, the main event here, Arman Tsarukyan gets the KO in the first round, 1 minute and 4 seconds over Beneil Dariush. One, what did you think of the performance, Kev, and the knockout? And two, do you think that puts Tsarukyan into the title mix?
Oh, 100%, definitely. I seen a poll asking who should be next for the title to fight Islam. Oliveira, Gaethje, or Tsarukyan. And I think that's very fair at this point because they knocked out all the because he beat the hitters. One thing I will say is that Tsarukyan, I don't know what his genetics are, but that motherfucker is chiseled, like built. I'm the whole time I'm watching, like, this motherfucker I worked his ass off for this fight.
Back-to-back first-round knockouts for Dariush, with him getting knocked out. Oliveira did it in 4 minutes, and Tsarukyan did it in a minute. I mean, those are two heavy hitters, but Dariush, as we were saying before, was once the boogeyman. Now he's off 2 losses, and he's way out of the picture for a title shot now, in my opinion. Like him versus Islam was kind of a real thing. Now that shit like dead and gone. You better go get some wins over Poirier or Chandler or something because you're no longer the next guy at the division. I think it really just comes down to the three you named: Gaethje, Tsarukyan, and Oliveira. How anything else though you felt about the Dariush or Tsarukyan?
I definitely want to see Dariush bounce back from these last two losses. Pretty bad. Could be pretty heartbreaking for a normal person. He's tough. And Tsarukyan is becoming, I think he was one of my favorite wrestling fighters because of his style. But he's definitely becoming one of my favorite fighters just in general because of his coming attitude. Doesn't slow down, gives the pause to him. And then his team also together, you can tell they work really, really well together. They come up with some great game plans.
All right. And I co-signed both of that. And Tsarukyan, like his one loss to Gamrot, very controversial, and his other loss to Islam. And like he said in the post-fight interview, I was 22 years old when he fought Islam. He's not the same guy anymore. He's 27 now. This is 5 years of experience. And I would love to see the rematch down the line. But as always, we can't be here all night. So we appreciate everybody watching. Go down, like, and subscribe. Comment your thoughts on UFC Austin. Let us hear about the Bobby Green stoppage. And let us hear your thoughts on what Tsarukyan, if he should fight for the belt next. I'm Paul, Pick and Win Concha. I'm joined with Kevin, street fight enthusiast Savoy. And if y'all didn't know, now y'all know, motherfuckers.